Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Our notable for tonight is from the generation that followed the companions. So there's one generation between him and the companions. So he is a tabi'i of the tabi'is. And his name is Abu Abdullah Sufyan ibn Sa'id al-Thawri, known as Sufyan al-Thawri. He is a scholar in hadith, and he grew up. His father was also a scholar in hadith, and he grew up in a household of knowledge. And he was given the title of Amirul Mu'mineen fil Hadith, the commander of the believers in hadith. So he was very knowledgeable in hadith. And in his beginnings, he was a little bit of an introvert. So his mother encouraged him to go out and mix with people and teach them and spread knowledge and to lead them to what is good. And he did just that. He listened to his mother and he did just that. And now, hundreds of years later, we mention him and we talk about him. So this is the advice of a good mother for her son, to go out and do something good in this world. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on both of them, the mother and her son Sufyan al-Thawri. It is said that he was offered a position, a very esteemed position, to be a judge by the Khalifa. So he refused. And he fled to Mecca and Basra. He was born in Kufa in the year 97 Hijrah. He fled because he didn't want that responsibility, because he knew that this position came with a big responsibility, and he didn't want that. And it is reported that he said that the toughest thing that he has been treating himself for is his niyyah, his intention. This is Sufyan al-Thawri, a big scholar. And he said that he was, it was a tough to deal with his niyyah. And this is something that we all need to do. We all need to renew our intention, right? Like, why are we praying? Why are we coming to the mosque? Why are we doing what we're doing? Are we doing it to please people? Are we doing it for show off? Or are we doing it to please Allah? It has to be only to please Allah. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept it, it has to be pure for Allah. And this is, he understood the weight of this. And he was working on that. One time Al-Khalifa, Abu Ja'far al-Mansur, asked him for a pen, to give him a pen. So he told him, La af'al, I will not do that. Because I fear that transgression will be written with that pen, and then I will be a partner with you in that transgression. Look at this piety, and look at this courage, for a Khalifa, the commander of the believers, the president, to ask you for a pen and for you to say no. Why? Because you don't want to be anywhere close to the possibility of transgression. He didn't want to be anywhere close to the possibility of being involved in any kind of transgression. It gives you an indication of the taqwa that this scholar had. He had a lot of knowledge, but he also had a lot of taqwa. Because knowledge is not good unless it translates into, actions and words. And it is reported that he said, that knowledge for us is to give concessions out of confidence or out of trust. Al-ilmu عندنا الرخصة من ثقة. Knowledge for us is to give concessions from a position of confidence or from a position of authority. فَأَمَّا التَّشْدِيدُ فَكُلُّ أَحَدٍ يُحْسِنُ. As for being strict, for everyone can do that. Anyone can be strict, right? The true scholar is the one who can give concessions out of confidence, and out of a position of trust. Because he knows the person, he knows the context, he knows the situation, he knows the environment. He understands Quran, he understands the Sunnah, he understands the Hadith. He brings all of that, he ties all of that together, and he gives the verdict. You know, a lot of people will say, no, you can't do that, right? Because it's a safe thing to do, right? But you don't need to be a scholar to do that. And that was his opinion. It is also reported that he said that ليس الفقيه من يعرف الخير والشر, that the jurist is not the one who knows good from evil, ولكن من يعرف خير الخيرين وشر الشرين, but rather the jurist is the one who understands the best of the two good and the most evil of the two evils. So whenever you're presented with two things that are good, the scholar or the jurist knows which one is better. And whenever you are presented with two things that are evil, the scholar knows which one is more evil. So for example, you want to do the night prayer, but you have a parent who needs your help. They're both good deeds. They're both good things. But of course, attending to your parent, helping your parent, is a better good deed and has priority over the night prayer, right? Giving sadaqah in general is good, but giving someone who is in need is better. Is good also, but it is better. And we're all faced with these situations, in our day-to-day life. Also, knowing the two evils, which one is more evil. So for example, if you are a doctor and you have to see a patient who is not a family member, right? So that is not a good situation. But if you don't see that patient and you don't help cure them, that is even a worse situation, right? So whenever you're presented with two situations that are not good, you take the one that is the least evil. You take the one that is better from the two. It is reported that this is wisdom, words that are they're golden words. Kalimatun tuktabu bima'i dhahab, right? These are words of wisdom that are written like they're golden words, and they only really reflect just the deep knowledge that this imam, this scholar has. It is reported that one time a man came to him and he saw him crying. And he told him, "Ma yubkika ya Aba Abdullah." What causes you to cry, O father of Abdullah? He said, "Akhafu an yuslaba al-imanu minni 'inda al-maut." He said, I'm afraid, I fear for the iman to be stripped from me at the time of death. He said, you are the imam of people and you have this fear? You're the imam and you have this fear? And he said, what means that, how can a ship that is at sea, a ship that is sailing at sea, how can it be safe from capsizing? Like you're never sure if the sea is going to make it to the other side, right? Until it reaches the shore. And that was his analogy, that as long as we're in this life, we're not sure, on what side we're going to be. And this is why, the Prophet ﷺ teaches us to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-thabat. Allahumma ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qulubana ala dinik. Oh Allah, you are the turner of the hearts, affirm our hearts on your religion. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to affirm our hearts on his religion. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on this scholar, on this imam, muhaddith. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us better followers of his book and the guidance of his messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Jazakumullah.